Hi, my name is Laura Cowan. I am going to go over my behavior management PowerPoint. What you're looking at now is my reading interest inventory. I am elementary education, so I made a reading inventory. My former students were fourth graders, so I focused on that level. We use reading inventories to focus on instructional needs of each student. This would fit into RTI, our response to intervention models. You can usually make a pretty good prediction on above, average, or below for reading levels based on how much they read for fun. By asking a student what book they read last, we can tell what they want to read and understand or enjoy on their own. Usually, this can translate into their instructional level. By asking how many books they own, we know what their resources at home are. I also like to have them read a passage so I can hear how fluent they sound when reading. I end with whether they would like to be in a book club because I often will put my highest group in a book club with above grade level books to discuss and do activities with. My behavior management style most closely relates to Glasser's reality theory. I agree that students are in control of their own behavior and can decide to behave or not. Glasser also states that the classroom environment should help students learn to behave or make better choices. There should be a mutual respect between teachers and students. I like that students are part of developing procedures and rules for the classroom. Another style that appeals to me is logical consequences. I believe in fourth grade, students can understand how their behavior led to the consequence that they received for that behavior. They can also learn to name the motivation behind the behavior. I also like that as much as possible you do not use arbitrary consequences that do not connect to the behavior. These are my classroom rules. Rules should be limited to 5 or 6 positively stated guidelines. The rules you see are required by my school district so that all the classrooms in schools are consistent across the board for all students. In my classroom, in addition to these 5 or 6 rules that I was required to have, I would allow students to make their own rules that they felt applied to our own classroom. Almost always the students in fourth grade would include respect others. These are what I use to develop my procedures for the classroom. The first 2 weeks of school are very important for teaching procedures. You should reteach them throughout the year, but these first 2 weeks set the tone. I always had students choose their lunch on the way into the classroom and then read the board for morning work assignments and start on that. I took attendance using who had not taken their lunch magnet off the door. At all transitions coming back into the classroom, students were to look at the board and determine what they needed on their desk so that we could all start immediately upon entering the classroom. I taught them where to put their finished work in the basket at the back of the room and when to turn in that work. Every year you set up how to ask to go to the bathroom, get sharpened pencil. In my classroom, we usually had a basket in the back of the room that had sharpened pencils so that the pencil sharpener was not going while we were talking, and also where all extra materials were. I also had an absent box where the class notes and assignments for each child that had missed that day. I would print the notes out from the smartboard and staple it to the worksheet so that way they could see what they missed from my lectures. Notes from home went into the schoolhouse box on my desk, and how they were getting home was posted on the door. If this changed because of a note home from the parent, then I was able to quickly move their magnet to how they would get home that day. There are many more procedures that you teach the first 2 weeks, but these are the basics. I'm leaving you with my references. Thank you very much.